following is a presentation of
Balera Boxing Club.
This Saturday, December 11, WBC World Bantamweight Champion, the Filipino Flash, Nonito Donaire, will defend his title versus Reymart Gaballo of the Philippines. It's Filipino versus Filipino headlining the Showtime boxing event at Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California. Future Hall of Famer and four-division champion, the 39-year-old Nonito Donaire boasts a record of 41 wins and 6 losses, 27 of those wins by knockout. He's coming off a fourth-round knockout victory over Nonito Donaire this past May in Carson to capture his current WBC World Bantamweight Championship. Reymart Gaballo has an impressive record of 24 wins with no losses, 20 of those wins by knockout. Gaballo is coming off a split decision victory over Emmanuel Rodriguez 1 year ago in Connecticut. Gaballo is the mandatory challenger for the WBC World Bantamweight title. Magandang araw mga kaibigan, lalo na sa Pilipinas. I'm Chris from Valera Boxing, and I'm joined by Carlo and Philip. Carlo, Philip, welcome. Kamusta kayo?
Mabuti naman, mabuti.
What's up?
After a lot of drama over the fall season and jockeying for position on world title fights, Reymart Gaballo emerged as the mandatory challenger for Nonito Donaire to challenge for his WBC World Bantamweight title. But make no mistake, this is a great challenge for Donaire, facing a young and hungry Reymart Gaballo. Gaballo has an impressive record, knockout ratio, well-traveled, and trains in the US out of Miami, Florida. This is an enormous opportunity for Gaballo, but he will have to get past the experience, the heart, and that left hook of Nonito Donaire. Carl, let's start with you. We know Filipino boxers, fans, people give their full support behind a boxingero when they're on this big stage, especially for a championship. Ano ang opinion mo sa laban ng Filipino laban sa Filipino para sa championship? It's tough, but this is also their job and what they have to do.
Yeah, you're right. It's hard, when you have to pick sides, and Filipino boxers, it's such a small circle between them. They all know each other. They all come from almost the same area. And even if they don't come from the same area, they all come from the struggle, and they all can relate to each other. And they all want to be successful. They all want to be winners. They all want to be champs. They all have dreams and make it to the big leagues. It's hard to pick because either they're both Filipinos, but this is also a business, and this is how they make a living. I'm excited about this fight, but at the same time, it's hard to pick because they're both our countrymen, and one has to go home a winner, and one has to go home with a loss.
Phil, your thoughts on this Filipino versus Filipino championship matchup?
The way I see it, it's two Filipinos, Filipino against Filipino. At the very least, the positive thing is, no matter what, a Filipino is going to be champion. So that's the way I look at it.
That's right. So Phil, going into the fight, Gaballo is a good combination puncher with speed and power. He does like to let his hands go. However, his opponent has one of the deadliest left hooks in the game, and he will need to be mindful of that throughout each round. Should Gaballo box or push the pressure versus Donaire?
You know what? I think he should feel him out the first few rounds, because if you try to go all in the beginning, you're gonna get caught with something. Nonito's still fast, 39 years old, but he's still fast. His reflexes are still there, and if he lands that left hook, it's night. No matter how good your chin is, you're going to feel that left hook. Inoue felt that. He got his face cracked by that left hook. And I feel like he should feel him out for a few rounds. Then once he gets his timing, then start to open up. But he can't open up right away because he'll catch something mean from Nonito Donaire.
Carl, your thoughts on Gaballo?
We all know he's younger, all right? He's hungry. He throws a nice jab and a nice cross. He changes his levels of punches, too, in combinations. He'll go up top, and he'll throw that right hand to the body. He moves forward, and he throws really, really good punches, whether it's straight punches or hooks. And when he comes forward, you can see how quick he is. Obviously that comes with youth. And he has good stamina, and I'd say lower mileage on those legs. Obviously, you know, in his 20s, I think he's a very good overall fighter. Not only with throwing punches, he also can counter and throw combinations with the counters. But also at the same time, like Phil said, it won't be an easy task because he is fighting a very, very good veteran.
So future Hall of Famer Nonito Donaire, we know of his accolades, we know his resume, we know his timeline too, obviously spanning over multiple decades as champion. Donaire's left hook, Carlo, even at 39, like Philip said, and we saw this in his last fight, and I'm glad Philip referenced his fight versus Inoue. It's there, it's still there. It could do a lot of damage. It has the speed, the power. Well, it certainly had the speed and power in his prime. It has the speed and power at 39. How should he approach this fight versus Gaballo? We mentioned this in other fights as far as the age disparity, but this is certainly equalized because of Donaire being the champion. What does Nonito need to do to return as champion?
I'm piggybacking off of what Phil said. And we all know it's not a secret. His left hook, you know, put a lot of people to sleep and you know, won a lot of fights. His left hook is deadly. And from his last fight with Obali, all right, that showed, you know, at the age of 38, 39, when he fought Obali, that's a young guy. And Nonito Donaire beat him, you know. This shows that he still got it. It shows that he can still crack with that left hook. Also, it showed with Inoue, right? It showed with Inoue that he can crack with that left hook too, and he hurt Inoue with that left hook. But what happens if he can't put him away with the left hook? What's he going to do when people such as Inoue can be put away with the left hook? What if Gaballo can keep up and endure that left hook?
Bill, how's Gaballo's chin?
Well, his last fight, he actually got hit a lot, you know, and that was a fight a lot of people thought that he actually lost because he got hit so much. But he didn't get rocked at all. He didn't get wobbled at all. He ate all of Rodriguez's shots. So based on his last fight, his chin's pretty good. But then again, like both of you said, Donaire has a different level of power that comes with that left hook. You know, I don't think Gaballo's ever felt anything like that. So I don't think we can compare his past opponents to Donaire because Donaire just has something else with that left hook. So, but you know, we'll see. He's still young. He's a young guy, and when you're young like him, you could take better shots to your chin than you are if you're an older guy. So, but we'll see.
So with Donaire's last fight, Phil, he certainly shocked a lot of people. Maybe not by the victory itself, but certainly with his ease of knocking out Obali in the 4th round. What does Donaire need to be wary of from Gaballo?
Gaballo could crack. His record speaks for itself. 20 KOs out of 24 fights. He could crack himself, and he swings pretty wide. He wants to take your head off. So he can't. Nonito Donaire can't get too comfortable in there. He needs to keep his guard high and be wary of Gaballo's power because Gaballo could bring it too. Donaire has rarely been rocked in his professional career, and he's smart. He's savvy. 50 fights, 50 plus fights. He's not new to this game. He's gonna be savvy in there. Gaballo is gonna have to find some type of strategy to get through his defense because Donaire has pretty good defense as well.
Carlo, Gaballo, as I mentioned, emerged as the WBC mandatory after a bit of drama and trying to figure out who would fight who in this very much stacked division. But here is Gaballo with an opportunity now to really catapult his career, not just in this division, but certainly within the boxing world. Defeating Nonito Donaire would be a tremendous accomplishment. What does this mean for Gaballo?
If he beats Donaire, if that happens, that he becomes one of the top guys, you know, and this is a king of the hill sport. If you're the second top guy who beat the top guy, then, you know, everyone's going to come after you now. And it's going to really catapult his career, you know?
Yeah, and I would say this is a very large hill here in the bantamweight division. Certainly, there are a lot of great champions in the division, obviously, across the world. There's another major bantamweight championship in Dubai. The hill is quite large, I would agree, and that's an excellent statement. Phil, what are Donaire's keys to victory?
I would definitely say stay composed and calm, but he won't have a problem with that. He's a veteran, because Gaballo's gonna bring that storm, and I feel like he's gonna bring it early. And like Carlo always says, Donaire has to weather that storm. If he weathers that storm and he figures out Gaballo's timing, eventually he'll find his openings. Nonito Donaire will find his openings, and he's gonna catch Gaballo with something. So he just needs to stay calm, stay composed, and let the game come to him. Let the fight come to him.
Phil, what are Gaballo's keys to victory?
Like I said before, he needs to stay calm. I would say take the first few rounds to read Donaire, because like I said, Donaire still has his hand speed. He still has his reflexes. So he needs to take the first few rounds to try to figure him out. Once Gaballo gets his timing down, start working that jab, see how Donaire reacts to his jab. Then once he gets down his habits, once Gaballo gets Donaire's habits down and his timing down, start to open up and walk forward. He's still young. He has a good chance, so he could take a few, but eventually he has to come forward, because if he sits back and tries to play that boxing game with Donaire, he's gonna lose. Donaire is too much of a savvy veteran to play that boxing game.
Carlo, what are Gaballo's keys to victory?
I think his best chance against Donaire will be to come forward and put the pressure on Donaire. Bring him against the ropes, maybe have him squared when he gets when his back is against the ropes. Throw combinations, go to the body, just change the levels. Go high, go low, go low, go high. He's really good with his jab process, so he can always start off with that and put the pressure, and maybe throw that will throw Donaire off balance with going against the ropes, and approaching him at different angles. And I think that will be his best chances to just continue to put the pressure on Donaire.
And Carlo, what does Donaire need to do to win this fight?
He's been through a lot of fights, been through a lot of wars, took a lot of punches, gave out a lot of punishment too. So he's seen every style. Donaire's victory here is going to be his timing and experience. And I think his left hook is what's going to let him win that fight. Someone will get knocked out. If Donaire wins, it will be a left hook.
Carlo, sino ang mananalo?
I love underdogs. This past year, we've seen a lot of underdogs who wasn't expected to win and won. Underdogs can win. And right now, the younger guy, the hungrier lion, take that fight and gonna win that night. And overall, it's a win-win for all of us Filipinos, because they shared the main event. They shared the same stage. So we all win as boxing fans, as Filipinos. But I'm thinking I'm going with Gaballo by knockout.
Philip, sino ang mananalo?
I got the Filipino Flash by knockout. What round? I would say 9th round. Donaire's just a savvy veteran that he stays in really good shape, and his skills really haven't diminished. I mean, that's proof in his last fight too. Took the guy out in 4 rounds. So I got Donaire knockout, 9th round.
Carl, I like what you said as far as we as Filipino people and boxing fans, we are the winners. We share the stage, or they share the stage. This is certainly a tough fight for both of them, but I will also take Reymart Gaballo to be the new WBC World Bantamweight Champion. December 11th, WBC World Bantamweight Champion Carson California, the Filipino Flash, Nonito Donaire versus Reymart Gaballo, also from the Philippines. This should be an amazing, exciting fight. Our friends out there in California, we wish you were there. You're going to have an amazing time. Leave your comments on who you think will win this fight. Nonito Donaire or Reymart Gaballo, WBC World Bantamweight Championship, December 11th. This should be an awesome fight. Should be a good one.
Donaire, all day.
Gaballo.
Filipino Flash.
No. Gaballo,
all
man.
day.
I'm telling you right now, it's Gaballo.
Savvy veteran, Nonito Donaire. Nonito
The
Donaire.
hungry lion, the young lion who's gonna win.
Filipino
Gaballo.
Flash, baby.